I'd like to thank Mayor Coppinger and Sheriff Jim Hammond. I'm Gregg with the Chattanooga Tea Party, just a guy, just somebody in the Tea Party. I'm going to give you all a little clue about power and what happens behind the scenes. You may have noticed this podium's a little tall for me. And my good friend, Congressman Chuck Fleischman, is unfortunately challenged even more than I am. So I had to say to the congressman, you know, I bet if Senator Corker was here, we'd get a shorter podium. I often ask myself, why am I involved with the Tea Party? You know, I'm very busy. I've got my family to tend to. Quite frankly, I'd like to be playing golf every day. And after all, what can we do? And especially, why now? Why not before? Why wasn't there a Tea Party in 2004? I mean, there were plenty of problems in America before then. You know, sometimes it just takes one little thing. Something that just pushes you over the edge, and at the time it doesn't seem like that big a deal at all, because as Americans, we've all seen our government overstep its bounds, make bad decisions. We've seen the corruption up close and personal and said, that's the way it's always been. We've been losing our God-given freedoms for a very, very long time. It hasn't happened just since 2008. So what was different then versus now? Many of you may remember that famous Rick Santelli rant 3 years ago, calling for a Tea Party. Why did that resonate? I know it did for me because I can remember vividly thinking, yeah, we need a Tea Party to turn this country around. I'm going to do something. But why that one little outburst about home mortgages? Well, for me, it was simple. I had just spent 8 years disappointed with President Bush, who, I got to tell you, I really, really liked President Bush, except when he was governing. Compassionate, conservative, quite frankly, I'm insulted by that, because conservative ideals are compassionate, liberal ideals are government slavery. Our conservative government, thank you, our conservative president governed like a liberal. Medicare drug benefits, bailouts, no child left behind. These aren't conservative principles, folks. They won't turn our country around. And quite frankly, I didn't like my next two choices for president that much either. One, a true war hero, long background in government service, claims to be a conservative, votes like a liberal. And the other, a man with absolutely no qualifications for the highest office of our country. He's a straw man, backed up by a media. So in the tank for him, they should be embarrassed, but they weren't. So now here comes the famous Santelli rant. After the hijacking of our freedoms by man and not God, and watching the elite media hand us a pablum about President Obama, I had a choice. Keep complaining while I kept my head in the sand and figure, you know what, I'm just going to live in their rules because, you know, I'm 60 years old. It's not going to affect me that much. Or I could stand up and say, enough. I've let you go too far. I'm going to fight not for myself, but for my son, for future generations, for God's true plan for America. And here's where it gets interesting. I made that decision for myself, but what can one man do? Well, you know, I found a few like-minded souls here in Chattanooga, and a few of us 3 years ago went to Washington, D.C. that September for the original Tea Party rally. And the night before the rally, we strolled up and down Crystal City across from D.C., and we met people from several states, and we talked. And we were hoping, maybe just, I hope 20,000 people show up. You know, I hope we're not the only ones. Well, that next morning, 5 a.m., I get to the site because I get up early and I like to see what's happening. And I'm talking, there's about 20 of us there at 5 a.m. And then people started showing up, streaming out of the subway, streaming down the streets. They just kept coming and coming and coming. It was unbelievable. I sat next to people from every state in the union, Hawaii, California, Texas, Alaska, over 1 million people. They showed up spending their own money and their own time to get there. Just imagine how many millions more wanted to come but couldn't. And here's what it meant to me. It meant there were others out there that had taken their heads out of the sand, just like I had. There were a lot of them. There were millions of them, and I cannot begin to describe the feelings of joy that flooded my every pore, because there is hope for America. There are millions of us. There are many of us here today. And since that time, the Tea Party has had many successes and many failures. You see, we're a new movement. We're not a political party. There's ups, there's downs. We've been vilified, ridiculed, called a vile name in the press, and by our president. The President of the United States called us a vile name. That man we're expected to respect. They've tried to copy us, though. I got to tell you, their abject failure has been fun to watch. Coffee party, anyone? You know, they don't understand what grassroots truly is about. It is grassroots. When they say the Tea Party's dying out, I've got to laugh. They still have no clue what makes the Tea Party tick after 3 years. They say we're just angry people. We're racist. You know, even though the Tea Party got several black politicians elected in the last election, we're racist. And of course, here's my favorite. We're run by the Koch brothers. I'm still waiting for a check from these guys and my marching orders. I'm heartened by their lack of knowledge, though, you see, and their dismissals. One of the main reasons we finally got involved was the media. And I say to everyone in this room and to my brothers that could not be here today, we are the Tea Party. Each one of us is the Tea Party. It's not about rallies. It's not even about this meeting. It's not about our monthly meetings. It's about what's inside each and every one of us. This is what they don't understand. Because it's not just our beliefs, it's our resolve to finish the job. Thank you. I'm proud. I'm proud to be a member of a group that believes we can make America strong and great again. And I want to thank everyone in the Tea Party, all the people who have done just a tremendous amount of work to make this happen today. I want to thank you for your efforts, along with everybody that's involved in the Tea Party. Thank you for your efforts, for your fight, and for your commitment to a truly great ideal. Thank you.